Hi YouTube, please give me a moment while I go live on Facebook. We'll be getting started shortly. And we should be live on Facebook. Hi everybody, welcome to another video. I'm Sami Abu Saad, Director of Education at T3 Live. Hope you're doing well. We're gonna do what we always do, which is go over the market, go over some swing ideas for next week. But before we start, as always, a standard required disclaimer to let you know that trading is risky and that whatever we discuss today is for educational purposes only. If you'd like to download a copy of my free ebook, link for that is in the description of the video below. But without further ado, let's turn to the charts and get started. And if you find benefit in today's video and you want to help support our channel, please be sure to hit the like button. That helps us out quite a bit. And if you have any questions for us, email customer service info@t3live.com. Again, info@t3live.com. This is the chart of the Qs, which is the tracking ETF for the NASDAQ 100. This is the chart of the SPY. Obviously, it's the tracking ETF for the S&P 500. It does not look like we have a bottom in yet at all. We're just continuing that downtrend. We had kind of a double bottom, especially on the Qs. We had kind of a double bottom, and we had a nice bounce on Wednesday. Thursday was a down day, and then Friday, boom, big red bar. We were actually up about a 1.5% or so on Friday to start the day, I think, and then we sold off pretty hard. So as you can see, there is no bottom in yet, and I'm expecting lower prices still. We got to my first target, which was about 320, that prior pivot low on the Qs. We got there. The next support area is going to be about 300 bucks. So right about here, I would say. And I think it's pretty likely that we would get to it. Now, we get there, we bounce hard, and we fail to follow through like we did when we got to 320. And then maybe we will start to look at the next support area below that, okay? But for now, the next support area will be around $300. We'll have to wait and see how prices react to the next support area once it gets there. Does that make sense? So when we got to 300, we actually got 318. We had a pretty strong bounce. Could have been the bottom, but we failed to follow through and retested. So we're probably lower. We get to 300, we bounce, and we don't retest. We actually go sideways and then we break out. Then that will be the bottom. We're quite a bit from there. So we'll see how it goes between now and then, okay? But for now, the bias is going to have to remain bearish. Okay, it's going to have to remain bearish. I know some of you are thinking, I got long-term accounts, 401k, college savings account. This is bad news. Unfortunately, it is what it is. With the market, you can't fight it. You just have to accept it and adjust as necessary. Okay, that's all I can say. All right, on to the watch list for next week. These are swing ideas that I like for Monday. If you're a subscriber, I've already updated the newsletter. It will go out Monday before the open, but if you want to access it right now, feel free to log on to your account, T3 Live account, and you will see it ready to go with the entries, stops, targets, all of that. Okay, the whole 9 yards. But for you non-subscribers, let's go over the entire watch list. I'm not going to play every one of them, but I picked a few that I like, that I'm looking to play, long and short. And the watch list was copied and pasted into the description of the video for your convenience. The first one is the CLOV. Clover Health Investments. Looks good if it can clear the top of the base, which I think is 316. 327 actually. The bottom is $3. So it's over 327 long if it clears it. Stop under $3, and then the target is going to be about $4 to $5. 4 target 1 maybe, and 5 the top of the base for target 2 on the CLOV. CrowdStrike I don't think is ready yet, but what's impressive about it is that it gapped above the 20 on the daily chart and it held. It did not come back down like the Qs did. Now on Monday it might come right back down, in which case cancel the idea. But if it holds, continues to hold, guess what? We have a monthly buy setup in place. So it will trigger the monthly buy setup eventually. It already did actually. So, and I like the week, the weekly is not very good actually. I'm not ready to play it, but it's a good watch for the coming weeks on CRWD. DDS basing nicely over the base long. Stop, it put in a recent base with higher lows, so that's good. The only thing is, I like it when the 20 MA is pointing up already, like so, curling and pointing up. This one is flat, but if you want to try it, we'd have to clear the base, and then once it does, like it higher. So the stop limit order goes right here, right? And then the stop goes right here. And then the target, the prior high, around 400 bucks. Not bad, I like it. As DDS. DTE, okay, DTE is an energy stock. I made a mistake on it. It had a nice base right here, and I didn't do it. I put it out as an idea in the newsletter. There's 2 sections in the newsletter if you're not familiar with it. One for official plays, one for additional ideas to consider. So this was an additional idea, and should have played it because it looked good, but I didn't. Now it has a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly chart. It already broke out, yes, but it's not too late because it's got another entry over 128.30, stop under 124, and target about 140 or so. 139 is this bar's high. So that's what I'm going with as the target, 139. But it really has room to between 139 to all the way up to 145. And then the entry would be over this bar's high, stop under it, okay? All of these ideas, the price needs to get up to the trigger point, to the entry, then the order is activated, okay? So I use stop limit orders, stop limit, meaning if it doesn't reach the price, no play, no harm, no foul. EPAM is a little bit climactic. I don't like it that much, but it's interesting. Let's check the weekly chart. Okay, that's a pretty good weekly chart. Nice reversal bar, long above 208, stop 168. It's a really big stop. Maybe one can use 184 as the stop off the daily chart. That's the daily. And target 1 would be the prior pivot high, 252, and target 2 would be the declining 20 MA, which is that blue line that you see on the daily chart. Okay, FCX has been incredible. This is copper, I think, and obviously the metals have been just on fire. Aluminum, copper, gold, silver. I have a couple of gold stocks open right now. FCX been on fire. It does have a daily buy setup, so long over. Let's take a look at the hourly chart to be sure. Yeah, it has a nice base breakout on the hourly chart. So long right here, which would be over 48.25. The tightest stop would be right here, but I think especially since the market is very volatile, might as well put the stop under the green bar's low right here. Okay, so it's a big stop, but I don't like it that much. But I love the bullishness on FCX, all-time high, as opposed to the market, obviously, in a really bearish downtrend. This one is what I call a transition A breakout, when the stock is in a long-term downtrend, and then starts to break the downtrend and break out for the first time, curl up and break out. We saw, I think, is this what? Oh, that's MULN, IMMP maybe? No, not IMMP, IMPP. You see what I mean? In a downtrend, long-term downtrend, it started to break out. Now in this case, that's exceptional. It really went from 45 cents, 48 cents, I mean, to almost $10 in 2 weeks. So that's, that's insane. But that's the idea, is when you have a long-term downtrend, the 20 MA starts to curl up, especially if the stock bases a little bit at the curling 20, and you get the breakout, especially on low price stocks. That's what I like, is when they work, they don't always work, but when they work, it's usually an explosion. As you can see, from 50 cents, let's just say, to $10, that's 2,000%. Incredible in a few days. The market doesn't give you 2,000% in 2 centuries, in 2 decades. So this one in a couple of weeks. So MULN is similar. And what I don't like about it is, the bar, or, we already got a big bar there. So it would have been better if it just based for a little bit. But that's what I'm watching it for, is for that transition A breakout. And maybe gets up to that prior pivot high around 375, 370, let's just say, okay, on the MULN. Oracle, not quite ready to get into the Oracle, but look at that monthly buy setup. Pull back to the rising 20. So I'm personally going to wait for that bar to close, and once the stock goes above it, almost 100% chance I'm going to play it once the bar closes. And it's going to need, you know, we're next week is going to be March 14th, so it's going to need a couple more weeks before it closes, but I wanted to share it with you as a long-term watch, as a long-term idea. Another long-term idea that I really like is PANW. It's just the strength on it, is the relative strength to the market is undeniable. I mean, this thing is at all-time high and basing almost. So I like the daily buy setup. It's not perfect, but it's good enough for me, I think. Long, stop right here, and then no target because it's at all-time high, near all-time high. The only issue is the market doesn't look quite ready yet. It's not ready, I can tell you that much. And so because the market is not quite ready, I'm not yet ready myself to commit to long-term plays. But this is at the top of my list of things that I like long-term. Oracle is on the list too, okay? RETA is a transition A play. You know, you have that long-term downtrend, the stock pops, bases, the 20 is starting to curl and point up, so I definitely like it. It's probably low volume, be careful. Long over the base. If it clears the base, stop under, and then target, my goodness, it has a lot of room, about 50 bucks. Okay, minimum. Maybe it even goes higher, but let's just say 50 for now at least. Okay, 50. TMUS, not ready, but check out that monthly on TMUS. I mean, it had a big pullback, but it put in a wide range igniting bar. If it waits for me and closes as a narrow range bar on the monthly, that's another long-term watch. Okay, TMUS, T-Mobile. I mean, wow, is this stock strong or what? So I like it. I'm just waiting for that bar to close at the end of the month. Then I'd like to play it as a monthly buy setup plus a 1, 2, 3 pattern. Okay, long over that bar's high, stop under, target 1 would be the prior high, and this could be just a long-term play. And now the TWOU, TWOU, I always, when I say it, take two, and take two is TTWO, I think. So I always, my brain just mixes the two up. At any rate, this is interesting. This monthly chart, 10 red bars in a row. They're not. It doesn't look like it's quite 10. Maybe 8, maybe 9. Right to the prior low. It's weak for sure, very weak. But could it bounce just a little bit, even to $20? That would be 100% gain on TWOU, on TWOU. And it has a transition A on the daily chart, so I like it long over the base, stop under it, and target about here, which is not quite 20 bucks, maybe 18, about 18. So lots of good watches. We'll see what the market does. We'll see which ones trigger, and we'll go from there. On to the bearish list, which is not bad at all either. EMKR is a base breakdown. Notice the weakness. It's just so weak. Lots of room to go. No, not a ton of room actually. Not a lot of room because you have support at about 310. Okay? But really nice base. I always like it when a stock gaps down and is unable to go back up into the gap fill, to trade up into the gap fill and stays weak. That's something that I like to short a lot. Grab was probably my, I don't know, I think it's my, probably is the biggest trade, was the biggest trade for me this month, in March, for sure. And it was the 1, 2, 3 that I did on this day. And I called it in the room, live on the microphone. I mean, wow. You're never going to see anything better than this. 1, 2, 3. And the way it worked out. Look at this, guys. Not a single bar got taken out until down here. From up here. That entry was under this bar's low, stop above it. Literally 4 cents. Okay? And then it trailed, continued lower, but what a play, what a move. Now, this is the move on the 15-minute chart. Here's the move on the daily chart. And it stayed at the lows. So it's pretty weak. Short under the base, stop above it. We have a weekly 1, 2, 3 or a daily base breakdown, basically, on the grab. If you like it, you gotta reach out and grab it, okay? INFA is a base breakdown. It's not the tightest base, but it also gapped down, so that's an added plus to the bearish side. All-time low, so under the base short, stop over that pivot. RTL is this daily sell setup. Not too familiar with the stock, but looks nice. We broke under the support. Check it out. Under all of that stuff, we're under it now. We have a sell setup, short right here, under the base, stop right here, and then target one, maybe the prior low, right about 715, 716. Really, the target should be, the real target should be right here, about $6. And notice, you know, again, it gapped down, wasn't able to rally much into the gap fill, stayed, you know, there's a void above. That's bearish when you have an overhead unfilled gap above, okay? So we have a sell setup on it. Looks good. I like it. RTL. And then SSSS, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3 short. So short under 880, stop over 915. Like it a lot. It's like the grab, but instead of a 1, 2, 3 on the weekly chart, this is a 1, 2, 3 off the daily chart time frame. It's just a different time frame, but the same pattern. VRM, gap down and base, exactly like the grab on the daily chart. I like it a lot. Those are, some of them are low priced, but very liquid. Some of the low price stocks are not very liquid sometimes, but these are very, very liquid. So I like them. Short under the base. If it breaks under the base, stop above it. Okay. And then last but not least is the Wish. Wish is, I wish the stock was, this company was doing a little bit better. I honestly do, because I remember during the pandemic, it was during the pandemic, right? It crashed, but this was a great stock to scalp. So, not exactly, I mean, not in 2020, but in 2021 was a great stock to scalp, and it's just been dropping, basing at the lows. Looks great, lower. Now you might say, well, the stock is down from $30 to $2. Isn't that too late? Or from 40? Not really. It can still drop 3. It's got $2 more to go. YSG we traded yesterday. We traded, and the day before we traded. Look at this. It's a penny stock, and it's been dropping exactly like the Wish, from like $30 or so, not quite, to 20, from 25 to now 67 cents. While it was about $1 something, $1.30, $1.20 on Wednesday when it reported earnings, it gapped down 47% or so. It closed down about 47. So even at $1, you can still make 50% on the stock overnight if it goes to, in this case, from about $1.20 to 60 something cents. Okay, so at any rate, Wish is not too late. YSG maybe, because it already gapped down a lot, but I like it short under the base, stop above it, and then go on vacation, because it could unfortunately be going, you know, out of business probably. I mean, it's going to zero. It looks like, who knows, but I like it short. At any rate, hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, I appreciate you tuning in and sticking around until the end. If you want to reach out, have any questions, email us, info@t3live.com. If you'd like to check out my services, learn more about me and what I do and what I offer, links in the description. But with that said, hope you enjoy your rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you next week. Take care, everybody. Ciao.